Hi everyone, my name's GirafaStev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club. I'm the very long and large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, such as, oddly enough, the 2010 Yogi Bear movie, and the Stinky Cat, one of which is right beside me right now. Hanoi!
Hello, Mario.
Come back here, Hanoi. Being greeted to by a round of applause, followed by a chorus of boos. We have a very mixed reception here in the Long Boy Zone here this evening for a Stone Cold Classic. That's right, tonight we are going to be taking a
How
bit of
dare
a
you call me a stinky cat?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, homunculus. I'm sorry. You're an affront to God. Sorry. I could have sworn that I would have learned that by now and not mistake you for one of the hell monsters. No, you are...
That's better.
No, you're a mistake You're a mistake that is only allowed to live because somehow you amuse God. But yeah, hopefully everyone has had a good... Hopefully everyone has had a good week this week. Tonight, I'm torn in two different areas, right? Because on the one hand, I'm thinking about how I'm probably the only person on planet Earth that could say, oh, I like MLP. And that could mean two entirely different things depending on the context.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute book reading break, my dudes. Heaven refuses me and hell doesn't want me, so I can't die.
Mario.
And that's a sick joke, as Wolverine would say. The sick joke is we have to put up with you. It's almost time for a 2.5-minute book reading break, my dudes. Might I recommend Mox's autobiography? That's a good book. Either that or basically anything by Mark Manson. Hi, Zev. How are you doing tonight? We have Bri here, we have Ashley, we have Dan, we have Tom, and we have Patch as well. I'm on a 10-stream streak with your channel. I'm very happy to hear that, Dan. Thank you very much for making the Long Boy Club, I guess, like a twice-weekly tradition for you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to have everybody here. I'm very happy to have everyone here as we go back to a game that I haven't played since I was in college, actually. Which, oh god, I graduated college 3.5
years ago. Who the fuck put incest in my Street Fighter? What the actual hell?
I don't... Listen. He was mocap by Kenny Omega, so that makes him based. That makes him super based, actually. How about that Revolution on Sunday? It was great. It was awesome. Honestly, I don't think we can base wash that. Listen. I ain't touching that. Okay? I'm not touching that. All I'm just gonna say is One Winged Angel. Make that an 11. Holy shit! Super long, man. Super long, man. Right here. Hold on. One might say that Dan is a. Oh shit! I locked this one. Why? Okay, well, whatever. Like you know that one gum commercial where it's like, hold on, I'm just gonna pull it up for all of you. Long man, right there. Hold on. We're gonna. This is so like, I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but there's like this series of commercials, right? Where it's like a love triangle sort of thing. And it all centers around like this one particular brand of chewing gum, right? I don't even know. Oh, Sakura Gummy is what it's called. And it's like this overarching saga between 3 people. And it's like this series of commercials that are promoting like this one specific brand of chewing gum. The first one is like this.
どうしたの？
トールさんが避けるグミ咲いてる時の顔が好き。
そう？
もっと長く見てたいな。
あー。Long, long,
Who needs that much gum?
危ないね、あの人。避けるグミ対長い避けるグミ。
I don't know why I took that off of the redeem rotation, honestly. This shit is stone cold classic right there. I do. I chew a lot of gum. Yeah, but like, dude, look at the stick that he pulls out here. Look at that. Look at that. That's like a foot long goddamn stick of chewing gum. Look at this. Actually, no. I'm pretty sure this is bubble gum. That's like a foot long at least.
Hello, Mario.
How do you GirafaStev chews gum the long way? Yep, and dude,
Incest
that
is
shit,
cringe.
that shit makes me a I'm bringing that, dude. If someone brings a sign that says GirafaStev chews gum the long way to to a show, I'll pop so hard. I'll do it myself. Fuck it. I'll pop myself.
Did you hear they are adding Angry Birds to Sonic Cross Worlds?
I did.
Long, long man.
I did, in fact, see that. And it's very funny because my roommate was having one of his friends over, and he looked at me and said, "Hey, did you see that Angry Birds was being added to Crossworlds?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I told him, "Yeah, Sega owns Rovio, the people that make Angry Birds. I forget that sometimes too. That's like one of like, I would say in terms of the Sega iceberg, that's like, not necessarily tip, or the tip of the iceberg knowledge, but like, you're at least like surface level water, right? I feel like that's at least like, hold on. Iceberg. Come on, give me something here. Like, how about this, right? Like, let's fucking say that this is your iceberg, right? I don't think it's right here. I'm thinking it's probably around here-ish, right? Like, you're just below the surface, but it's not so deep to where, like, you would, to where, like, if you knew that Sega owned Angry Birds, you might not know that the very first Lego game was released on the Sega Pico as well.
Sega Gummy makes a long boy a long, long man.
That's right, man. That's where long boys go to get some hair on their chest. If you know that Sega owns Angry Birds, that doesn't necessarily mean that you know that Sega lays claim to the very first Lego game on the Sega Pico. I would say that knowledge is here-ish, right? I would say the Sega Pico Lego game is right here, right? You can actually buy Sakura Gummy on Amazon. Dude, that's awesome. How much is it? We got... How do you say the Puyo Puyo character's name, chat? Because I don't know and I don't want to botch it. I don't want to botch the name. $14 at Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, if you're getting like a foot long plus of gum, then I think that's pretty good. Hold on. Did any of you ever have this when you were a kid? I don't think they make this anymore. But when I was a kid,
it's
I would
long
put
boy
away
racing
shit
all
like
around
this.
the world. Longer than ever, making tires wrestle. Stev is our treasure. We are trailblazing, long boy racing.
Dude, if you had a kart racer involving everyone in the Giraverse, I'd fucking play the hell out of that. Me and only me would play the hell out of that. But no, like, have any of you, like, had this ever? Hubba Bubba bubble tape? Because I put away this shit so much when I was a kid. I don't even remember the tangy tropical one. Featuring the Young Bucks and Adam Page as post-launch characters. Let that be known. And Mystico. And the Nexus. Oh, you remember the pink one? I remember the pink one too. I could never blow bubbles with gum. Neither
7.
could I.
Seikaru gummy candy grape taste 1.2 ounces 10 pieces Japanese. Seikaru gummy is a popular Japanese tearable gummy candy manufactured by Ohami Kikuto, known for its soft, chewy texture and intense, fruity flavors. It is uniquely designed to be peeled into long strips or smaller pieces, similar to string cheese. Popular flavors include grape, apple, and orange, often made with real juice concentrate.
So hold on, is Sakura gummy like gum, or is it like a gummy candy, like a gummy bear or something? Because I'm a little confused. Is this like Hubba Bubba bubble tape where you can like blow bubbles with it and chew it? Or is it like, you know, like you rip off a piece, you put it in your mouth, and then you swallow it? Gummy candy. Oh, that's base, dude. Okay, well then, hold on. Laffy, Taffy, Rope. Okay, well then it's more like this then. Do they still make these? I had like so many of these like Laffy Taffy sticks when I was a kid. I know Laffy Taffy is still made nowadays, but like anytime that I got it, it would always come in like this flavor, rather in this, right? Pretty sure they still make sticks, yeah. Oh, you can't chew it for a long while? No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like you gotta like eat it like it's taffy or something. So like it isn't so much gum as much as it is like taffy. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, well, in that case, I'm actually more drawn to it. Because if you give me, like, a stick of that, I'm just gonna eat the whole thing in one sitting. I should not be trusted with Sakura gummy, chat. No one send it to me, please, because I will not, because the moment it comes here, it's getting gone just as fast, okay? Pretty sure they still make sticks, yeah. These were, like, book sale staples, right?
Common
Like
flavors
anytime-
include Kyoho grape, red apple, orange, peach, golden kiwi, cola, and yogurt.
Yogurt flavored taffy? That actually sounds pretty good. I mean, like, well, it depends on what it is. If it's like Greek flavored yogurt, yeah, if it's like Greek flavored yogurt taffy, it's gonna make me do that. It's gonna make me fart. Cola flavored sounds good. Golden kiwi also sounds pretty nice. Kyoho grape, that kind of seems like their default. I'm surprised there's not like a strawberry one. But that sounds good, yeah. I would try that, but like, I shouldn't have like more than one in the house. Because if I do, then they're all gonna be gone. Very, very, very fast. But no, I can never blow bubbles with gum either. I play games. I would always just like chew it, and my mom would like try and teach me how to, you know, blow bubbles with it. But I can never do it. Meanwhile, everyone around me seemed to be able to do it, and I felt very left out. I felt very left out, because I had this gum and all I could do was chew it. I had this whole roll of it, right? This whole wheel of gum just sitting in my pocket, and I couldn't even blow it. I never learned how to blow bubbles with gum. So, like, do we all just, like, chew it and just, like, savor the, like, 5 minutes of flavor that we got out of it, and then we were done with it? Is that how we all did it? Can't whistle either. I just blow a raspberry. I can't whistle either, honestly. I could snap my fingers. But I didn't learn how to do that until, like, 5 years ago, actually. They actually buy the candy at the Japanese factory's US website. I'm not going there right now because I don't want to risk anything. But that might be worth looking into. Also, I can only snap my left hand. I could snap both. But I can snap my right... I can snap my right hand a little better. It doesn't sound as snappy, pun intended, with my right. I get you, brother. Yeah, with my right hand, it sounds more like a snap. Whereas with my left, it just kind of feels like I'm sliding my fingers across each other. There's a bit of a snap sound, but it's more like a thud. But yeah, chat. I wanted to say that, like, being a fan of horses and wrestling is very weird, right? Because, while I don't consider myself a brony anymore, I still like the show, right? If you put it on in front of me or you want to, like, watch a couple episodes, you know, I'll fuck with it. I still fuck with my homegirls, Pinkie Pie, and Starlight Glimmer, and Marble Pie, and Maud Pie. Maud Pie's the autistic queen, by the way. We all love her very much. Why is that one much louder than the other ones? At least there's El Condor Pasa and Uma Musume.
My Little Pony, but it's chasing the coattails of Uma Museum. Do you find this cursed?
What you just said, like, unravels something in my brain. My Little Pony, but it's chasing the coattails of Uma Musume? Do you find this cursed? Dude, if anything, Uma Musume was chasing MLP's coattails first. Because you know who did, like, Magical Horse Girls first? G4. You know? Like, they did Equestria Girls. They had the season... They had, like, all these season finales where they basically just turn into Sailor Moon. You know? Like, they were ahead of the curve on that shit. Don't you come here throwing lies at the horse knower. Okay? I've been around this block for half my life, right? Don't you come and throw falsehoods at my feet. Alright? Bronies never really died. They just reincarnated in the form of Uma Musume. Pretty Derby fans. No, they reincarnated in the form of Bluey fans. Like, adult Bluey fans. Which, like, you know, like, there's nothing wrong with Bluey. Like, I've watched a few full episodes of Bluey, and some of them are honestly really good, you know? It's very feel-good stuff. But it's a kind of, like... It's a different breed of kids show compared to Horse, right? But when you watch Bluey and you kind of catch its vibes, you understand why a lot of the more well-rounded bronies went to that show after G4 ended and G5 existed. Because to say it happened is kind of giving it a little too much credit. It just kind of existed. It did a couple things, but it mostly just kind of existed. But no, when you catch the vibes of Bluey, it makes a lot of sense why a lot of the more well-adjusted bronies went over to that after the show ended. Because, you know, like, it's a very well-written show for families. Much like how Horse was, you know? And it fulfills a sense of just, like, comfort and nostalgia, you know? So, yeah. I can see why adults would like it. Now, Peppa Pig is a whole other thing. I don't think there's any crossover there. Maybe I could be wrong, but, like... Meanwhile, the only horse media I've been consuming is in the form of a depressing alcoholic movie star a la BoJack
Hello,
Horseman.
Mario.
I thought everyone hated Peppa Pig. I don't know if they hate Peppa Pig or they don't, because I recently saw that... Hold on. No, I'm not gonna type it in. First off, I'm just gonna I'm gonna mute the browser for a sec, because I'm about to type in Peppa Pig baby, and I don't know what the fuck's gonna come up. So hold on just a moment. Okay, great. Nothing bad came up. Yeah, they multiplied, dude. They didn't die. They multiplied. There's a third one now. Our new baby sister. I don't even know what the baby sister's name is, but I remember when I fucking worked at Walmart, they put up a display in the toy aisle.
Sir, a third baby has hit the family.
They hit the fucking Pentagon, Peppa. Bluey, turn on the TV. They hit the Pentagon. They hit the fucking Pentagon, Bluey. Meanwhile, Bluey just doesn't even know what the fuck a Pentagon is. She goes outside and plays like...
Peppagon, you uncultured giraffe. Back in the 90s I was in a very famous TV show. I'm Bojack the Horseman. Bojack the Horseman, don't act like you don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna have to concede. I don't know. I mean, like, I know about it, but I feel like Bojack is a type of show that after... That, like... At the point where I'm in my life, I'm gonna need to, like... I'm gonna need a priest in the room in order to sit down and watch BoJack Horseman.
Clean up your shit, Todd.
I feel like it's just gonna hit a certain spot for me that's going to make me just like violently reject it. I feel like if I watch BoJack, I'm just going to violently reject it. Not the wrestler. The wrestler is really cool. But I mean like the cartoon. Like, I need to be in the right mindset and have, like, I don't know, like, a priest in the room. Just in case, like, something happens while I watch it. Peppa God, you uncultured giraffe. But no, back when I was working in Walmart, they put up, like, a display that had a bunch of Peppa Pig merch in it. Mostly, like, you know, toys for, like, small children. Right? And I looked at the art, and I saw that they multiplied, and I was just like, oh god. Oh no. It was like in that moment that I realized I need to leave Walmart as soon as possible, because whatever comes of this, I do not want to be here for it. I don't want to be here for the third coming of Peppa Pig. Okay? I don't need that in my life. Okay? I don't need more pigs in my life. A third kid's the sign we're in an alternate timeline. Dude, something fucked up if Peppa Pig gets a third child. Make it sound like that it's Peppa's kid and not the kid of Peppa's mom. Ugh. Like, we're living in a fucked up timeline where Peppa Pig has a sister and is on how many seasons? Hold on, how many seasons does Peppa Pig have? I have to imagine it doesn't really cost that much to... 404 episodes! Huh? No. 404 episodes and 5 special. How does it not have a movie chat? You know what? The idea that Bluey is the one that gets the movie and not Peppa is a testament to the cultural impact of Bluey goddamn I don't know what Bluey's last name is. Chat, what is Bluey's last name? Oh, okay. Okay, this makes a lot of sense when you actually see how long it's been running for. I had no clue this was running since 2004. All right, Bluey Healer, got it. That is a testament to the cultural relevance of Bluey goddamn Healer, that she's the one that gets the movie first. John Bluey, watch John Bluey and John Bingo and John Mum and John Dad in theaters in 2027. No. That's your own fault. You made that mental image on your own.
Peppa Pig gets 400 episodes while Symbionic Titan only gets 2 seasons. So much hate.
I'm gonna be perfectly respectful to you, dude. That's like saying that it's unfair that Kirby got like 20 games, meanwhile Solid Snake only gets like 2. You know? I'm gonna level with you, brother. The audience that's watching Peppa Pig is not watching Symbiotic Titan, I'll tell you that much. I mean, they might, but I have my doubts. To be fair, I'm also probably the blame. Speak for yourself. Okay, chat, I lied. I'm the reason why Symbiotic Titan only got 2 seasons, because I was too busy watching Peppa Pig get those big fat W's. I was too busy watching Peppa Pig get those big fat W's instead of watching big square shaped man levitate on Cartoon Network. I just missed Symbiotic Titan, man. It was gone too soon. You know, in my head, I mistook Symbiotic Titan for, like, Generator Rex. And I don't know why. They're two completely different things with two completely different art styles. In my head, Symbiotic Titan always looked like My Life as a Teenage Robot. You know? Did, like, people from My Life as a Teenage Robot work on it? Because whenever I looked at Symbiotic Titan, it made me think of that show's art style. But no. What the fuck was I gonna say earlier? I'm just gonna go back to Hubba Bubba Gum because I'm sick of looking at Peppa Pig. Well, Rob Renzetti, Marla TR's creator, did work on Dexter's Lab. I feel like that should tell me something, but it doesn't really tell me much. I mean, I guess they both have kind of similar character design philosophies, right? Like, I know that shows like Dexter's Lab, they really like to convey character archetypes through like how the edges of the character designs are kind of, you know, drawn out. And Dexter's Lab, Symbiotic Titan was created by that person. So there are branching connections. Okay. But no, I think that, like, I'm in a unique position because, like, even though I'm not a brony anymore, I still like the show sometimes. But I also like wrestling, and as a wrestling fan that's way too plugged in, I'm contractually obligated to know about Maple Leaf Pro. Otherwise known as MLP Wrestling. So, whenever I say, oh yeah, I like MLP, that can mean one of two things. That can either mean the show about the colorful horses that use magical girl powers sometimes, or the promotion that Scott D'Amore created after being fired by TNA. Really, it's up in the air. Really, it's entirely up in the air, I feel like. But what's even funnier than that is how people, rather, is how Maple Leaf Pro is. What's even funnier than that is how Maple Leaf Pro is shown on Blue Sky. Because on Blue Sky, you can have, like, different communities for, like, whatever you're interested in. And you can have certain posts show up in those communities based on what keywords are used or what hashtags are used, so on and so forth. Well, one of the hashtags or keywords for the My Little Pony community is MLP. So, anytime that someone talks about Maple Leaf Pro with its acronym, MLP, shows up in the My Little Pony community page. So, like, now, probably unbeknownst to Scott D'Amore, you have, like, all of these, like, bronies on Blue Sky, seeing that Eddie Kingston is going to be showing up at the Worlds Collide show. I think it's Worlds Collide show. Wait, what's it called? Hold on. I'm gonna, like, go on Blue Sky here real quick and do my fact checking. Maple Leaf Pro. Global Wars. Okay, cool. Anyone that goes on the goddamn, pony feed is going to see goddamn motherfucking, Rich Swann impending for Global Wars next week. And personally, I just really hope that that's enough to get a couple new fans. Because Rich Swann is incredibly based, and so is a lot of the people going to this show, because honestly, you have a lot of people here, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. You got Ortiz from AEW, you got Maya World and Hyun, you got Eddie Kingston, Billy Starks. Let's see here. I know that Mystico and several other people are gonna be at this multiverse show. You got Josh Alexander as your world champion. You got Jelzy Shaw as your women's world champion. It's fucking cooking up here, man. Hold on, I want to, like, see something else here. Ricochet is gonna be at Global Wars. Got Sheldon Jean. DPW alum Adam Priest and Dynamite and the new Dynamite kid Tommy Billington. You got Lee Johnson and Blake Christian. You got Ian Riccaboni on commentary and Mauro goddamn Ronaldo. You got Gates of Agony, so on and so forth. Like, look at this. That's insane. You got Athena on there. Deonna Purrazzo. It's honestly insane. Honestly, the talent that we're pulling for this goddamn show here. I don't know, the legacy of the Dynamite Kid is one you want to adopt. That's probably why he just changed his name rather they just changed his subtitle to Dynamite. So excuse me, he's simply Dynamite Tommy Billington. Yeah, this right here. Yeah, cool. Anyways, chat. Speaking of wrestling, I think that it is time for us to run the ad here, and then we're going to move into our main showcase of the evening, which is a little game I like to call WWE Cross Shower, or otherwise known as Poverty Twisted Metal.
It's break time.
But we'll
Where the
see how
heck's
it is
the
after
Cheetos,
this.
my dudes?
Raw rolls on. Now for sports games. WWF No Mercy is the latest title from Aki Corporation, all of which are inferior to Acclaim's WWF Warzone and Attitude titles. While the roster of this game is certainly impressive, the fact is that the wrestling is slow, and setting up for the fancier moves is next to impossible. We were pulling our hair out trying to do the people's elbow. Ah, come on, it's just an elbow drop. Almost every wrestler in the game has some kind of elbow drop, but they just had to make it super complicated for The Rock. That's absurd, folks. The sound quality in this game is also terrible, with many of the iconic themes being crushed down to fit on the Nintendo 64. And the entrances have been reduced to 10 seconds of posing on the ramp. A real downgrade from what even WCW Revenge offered. One thing Aki does better than Acclaim, however, is customization. You can change almost everything about every wrestler in the game. We brought back the skinny white turd from our review of WWF Attitude, and gave him a great entrance. Here's what our game guy, Tom Allen, cooked up for us. I'm gearing up to replace this guy with Floam, chat. He can't hold a candle to Floam.
It's all an animation conspiracy.
Listen, all I want from this life is for a bunch of bronies to go on Blue Sky and come away with it saying to themselves, damn, I sure do love Eddie Kingston. Or, you know what? I fuck heavy with Josh Alexander, Ricochet, Athena, like, and Chelsea Shaw. Like, I fuck heavy with all these guys. And Mystico? Holy shit, have you seen Mystico?
Om nom nom.
You see
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Signed to AEW recently? That's so fucking awesome. I'm so happy for him. I'm glad that he's able to get another chance at doing something in the States and not being remembered for Sin Cara. That is not a fate that I would wish upon anyone. Alright. Okay, cool.
SmackDown rolls on after this.
It's Thursday, though. What are you talking about, Homunculus? Dude, are you living in the future? I think you're living in the future, Homunculus. That's pretty sick. Yeah, it ran on Thursdays initially. Yeah, but it doesn't now.
THQ.
Join us in the present, Homunculus. Dude, when I see that THQ logo, I think of SpongeBob games and the Barnyard video game before anything else. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm completely stun-locked by seeing another developer on a wrestling game that's not Ukes or Visual Concepts.
Welcome to the landscape of television now that WWE owner Mr. McMahon controls all the networks. Now you can see
The fucking tone of that music made me think that we were gonna do the goddamn
and commercials.
Death Riders opening.
Continue to protest, you can't argue with success.
Would do these kinds of quirky games again. I wish they did too.
For his most anticipated
I think a Tetris World said Employee of the Month. Dude, classic PC game Employee of the Month?
for muscle cars.
That's insane. That's an insane poll.
Rush hour. Thanks to our sponsor, Mr. McMahon. Tonight,
You will witness.
Dude, this is a hell dimension. What?
Battling for survival behind the wheel. Let's take you to the action.
This is like a hell world that we've created. Is that what they were intending? I really hope it was. Because I have a physical copy of Employee of the Month.
Hello, Mario.
But I don't think it'll run. You probably need like a computer from like the Paleolithic age in order to run Employee of the Month now. Pacific Coast Power and Light are definitely not a good death. Well, what else did they make? What else did they make besides WWE Crush Hour? 2002 to 2004 is not the dinosaur era. Dude, don't you lie to me. I was there playing with the goddamn... playing the PC version of Battle for Bikini Bottom with the Azusasaurus. Right there with you. Okay? I was right there with you. I was there playing those mini games, and the Azusasaurus was kicking our ass. I remember that vividly. It was one of the games of all time. Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Dude, the best Power Rangers? Holy shit. They made the PSP port of the Cars game? Okay, but like the Cars game is actually pretty good. So like, maybe it wasn't that bad? A couple of motocross games. Okay, well that's just kind of like milquetoast stuff, yeah. It's Dinosaur. I'm a freaking amoeba from 1989. Dude, Dan, you're like in the primordial soup. Alright? You were like formed in the primordial soup. Yeah, dinosaur era is 80s computers. As far as I can tell, it's mostly just games that sure did exist. I mean, in their defense, the PSP version of Cars is a whole different game. I remember because I played a little bit of it. Anyways. Who should I be, chat?
Hello, Mario.
This isn't Twisted Metal. You're right. It's metal that's been twisted. I'm not gonna lie, I want to see what RVD looks like on this thing. Also, LOL, you could tell this was in the transition period between the WWF Attitude Era and WWE. This is a very, like... This is a very Attitude Era roster. But you're...
Hello, Mario.
You're getting into that ruthless aggression Peach Fuzz, you know? Because you got guys like Booker, you got Lesnar, you got RVD. You got Billy and Chuck? Oh gosh. You got Bubba Ray Dudley, but Devon is not unlocked, it looks like. Who should I be, chat? Lesnar without wrist tape? Hold up, you gotta check out all the cars. Dude, Benoit looks like a wax sculpture of... Dude, Chris Benoit looks like a wax sculpture of Chris Benoit. Hold on. We got the V1! Ah! Jeff Hardy looking like he's about to walk out to the ring at Victory Road 2010. Stacy Keibler with, honestly, probably the nicest looking car here.
The Big Show.
I vote on Booker T. Is it because it's Melanin March? Deontay. Big Show with a giant harpoon. I'm sad Big Show is a monster truck.
The Big Show.
Why did they give him a harpoon at the front of his car? The Big Show is actual slow truck. This might be the slowest vehicle in this game, but it has the best defense and strength. Rikishi! Rikishi has, like, the friggin' bulldozer. But also, his big giant ass on the back of it. RVD just has, like, he has, like, an ATV. It's actually a propeller, and he's driving some kind of bad piggy's vehicle. Is he?
The Big Show.
Nah, get out of here, brother. That shit's on the front, and it has no application.
Booker T.
The stink move, but with cars. So, like, if you back into an opponent, does that do massive damage because you're putting Rikishi's ass on him?
Rob Van Dam. Booker T.
The stinking cars. Oh god, the stinking cars. Phil. RVD's engine should put out a ton of smoke. Dude. If this no-name developer had like any balls or time, they would absolutely do that. That's awesome.
Chris Jericho.
Actually, Jericho probably has like the most normal looking car, but he also has like the most middle of the road stats.
Kurt Angle.
Okay, Kurt Angle is literally just Jericho, but worse.
Chris Jericho.
Like, hold on, chat. Look at the stats here. Look at Jericho's stats, right? Now look at Kurt's.
Kurt Angle.
It's literally just worse. This right here is literally just Jericho's car, but if you were like picking up your kids from soccer practice. It's literally roadkill of Crush Hour. The Amish roadkill with all the chickens. His handling getting worse sounds like heresy. It's Kurt Angle, I know! This is an Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. This is, I gotta pick up Timmy and Jimmy from soccer practice Kurt Angle. I don't like that. Triple H with... Honestly, I don't even know what to call this. This is like a Hummer, it looks like. Since he literally had the same stats. Oh, okay. I enjoy the bullhorns on the front here. It's like a convertible too, so it's nice. I don't like this canceled Jimmy Timmy Power Hour pilot. Oh, what, you don't like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour where they both get in a car with Kurt Angle and they fucking explode? Brock Lesnar looks like that he's about to throw a little tantrum. Not helped by the fact that he has the Cartoon Network font logo, you know?
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin has like the most characteristically accurate car. If it was anything other than this, I don't know what we'd be doing. He looks like an angry man-child. Again, he literally looks like he's about to throw a tantrum.
Steve Austin.
That's gotta be the tiniest he's looked in games. No, I know. Like, this is very much them pulling a rib on Lesnar here. He was like more jacked than this at this point in time.
The Undertaker.
Again, very character accurate vehicle, I feel like. Brock, I deleted your Pokemon save file. Oh, I'm gonna F5 you so hard! But first I'm gonna go and tell Mom!
Hello, Mario.
I'll make sure my Totodile Jeffrey is saved!
Brock Lesnar.
Jeffrey, my Totodile will be avenged! You look at that, then you look at his WrestleMania 19 model. I know! Like, you look at this, and then you basically look at, you know, the other GameCube wrestling games, and it's like night and day. Kane, I just feel like that they phoned it in here. I mean, it's like a hot rod. So, you know, I guess that makes sense. I like how Undertaker's defense is high as hell. But look at Twisted Metal Mr. Grimm. Super low defense. Dude, that high defense is some major politicking right there, brother. You don't get that without some major pull. Trish Stratus. Dude, like, how do you even describe this car? This doesn't look ready. His strength is so high. But Undertaker's the best pure striker in the business. And that gives him an edge in defense. Speaking of edge, he has like the flattest looking car. Like someone took this car and like smashed it first. Them shoot bones, Cole! What would the Undertaker's ride be if it was themed after the traditional Phenom Taker? Probably like a hearse, you know? This is WWE Mario Kart. Again, like Cross Bennett looks like a wax statue of Cross Bennett. Like, he looks like a tomato can. What did they do to him here? Yeah, he has like a buggy or like a Jeep. Prove me wrong. They shaved his face. Yeah, and they put wax on it. No, this is WWE Twisted Metal. You got William Regal here and... Hold on, what would you even call this, chat? Chris Benoit if he's in Backstage Assault. It's just a Jeep, but modified.
Billy.
I'm pretty sure that Billy and Chuck both have the same stats. Oh, no! Dude, look at these stats. Someone on the team did not like Chuck Palumbo. Look at this. Look at Billy Gunn's speed, okay? Perfectly middle of the road, maybe a little bit less. Now look at Chuck Palumbo.
Chuck.
He's just Billy, but slower. Come on, man. Not my boy Chuck. Not my boy Chuck Palumbo.
Billy.
Like if you're gonna have like a of the times gay gimmick, the very least you could do is give them the same stats.
Chuck.
Not make one objectively worse. I suddenly want to see an AEW Crush Hour game. Dude, if AEW had courage, they would do it.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
But my name is Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is. Oh, dear God. You see, my name's Billy. And I just won King of the Ring. But there's one problem. Everybody still thinks that I absolutely suck. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and run an ad before we got... Oh, hi, Ring of Honor. Here's Bubba Ray.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
He stepped into the arena to say some fuck shit. Anyways, we're gonna run an ad and then we're gonna do it. On TNA! No, don't worry. TNA's doing a good enough job
Where the
at
heck's the Cheetos, my
pissing
dudes?
itself without Bubba Ray Dudley. Anyways, Robble's on it
In
this.
Tasmania by Sunsoft, basically all Taz needs to do is grab Kiwis and avoid vehicles on the road. To make quick work of this game, first access the options screen by pressing select on the title screen. Press AY, AY, XY, BAR.
I'll be right back, guys. I
Screen
need
will
to
shake
get
and you
more
will be able
water.
to select any level of the game. This feature will be much appreciated by players who will find that Tasmania is boring at times. Bottom line, Tasmania is easy to beat with stage select.
Chuck.
Alright, we're gonna wait until it comes back, but I'm gonna pick the character right now. Just real fast. Because I just want to play an exhibition here, just so I can get my bearings. Figure out the controls. Yeah, Booker T is very middle of the road here. And of course he's just Chris Jericho, but worse.
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. Dude, Booker T is just Chris Jericho, but worse. I feel like in order to keep Deontay in the chat, I need to pick Booker T, so here we go. Alright, cool. No way the developer put their logo on the loading screen.
Promises to be another exciting event here at the WWE.
Oh my god!
Can you dig it, sucker? Entering in the SUV pickup truck hybrid, Booker T.
The SUV pickup truck hybrid? No way that they got goddamn The Fink announcing this shit.
In the armored ATV, time to play the game. Triple H.
That's so fun. The voices sound AI generated, even though it's long before that was a thing. Oh shit!
Sporty two-door.
The sporty two-door? Dude, I'm gonna pick up my kid from school in that thing. What are you talking about?
Entering in the monster truck.
Yeah, you know it. Oh, what? Oh shit, son. Oh hell yeah! You take 319. You take the 9. You flip it upside down, and what do you got? You got 316 days, son. That's right. What?
Oh my! What a collision!
AEW collision. All right, hold on.
There's some rough treatment being dished out right now by Booker T.
Oh God, chat.
Effective ram maneuver pulled off there by Booker T.
What? Wait, I'm ramming guys in this thing? I really feel like I'm not really gonna pull off much ramming at all in this. Hold on.
What
Oh,
a maneuver!
Boop.
Texas rattlesnake.
Oh God, okay, never mind.
There's some rough treatment being dished out right now by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You fucking bet it is, brother. Yeah! What? I'm so... Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. I didn't take him out?
Hubba Bubba Ray Dudley.
I'm so... Insert Elton... Oh, no! Come on, man! What is better commentary, this or just bring it?
Fires away.
This, because it's funnier. I'm sorry, but no other game lets you say, Booker T now has the Twisty Rockets. Like, none.
Collision instigated there by Triple H.
Absolutely none does it. Okay? It is in a league of its own in that way.
Booker T now has control of the Twisty Rockets.
Oh, that's the Twisty Rockets, brother?
Executed there.
No way.
Booker T. Big blast by Booker T.
Yeah, exactly. That's my fucking kill, brother. Not necessarily lies, but like the game counts how many eliminations you have.
Trish Stratus now has the Twisty Rockets.
She sure fucking does. That's my kill. Ah! Give me my health.
By Booker T.
T! I'm sorry,
Has the Twisty Rockets.
but how can you not say that this is
Hello,
me,
Mario.
honestly?
You had a fight. Your granny?
Your mom.
There's some rough treatment
Nice.
right now by Booker T.
I'm about to blow up.
Continues.
Ah! I got the twisty rockets, brother. I can't lose them. I can't lose the twisty rockets. Okay, cool. Wait, which one is the most damage? Ah, fuck. Okay, well, at least I robbed Stone Cold of that kill. Hi, Parker. How are you doing?
I'm all about TNA. Talent and ability, that is.
Not the other one. Do not say the other one, please. Fuck Tessa and Albert. Dude, I'm the most damaged right now.
Booker T. Firing away in all directions.
I will say that I know that this game gets kind of hard at some point, so... Double damage.
What a maneuver.
Ah, no! So, like, do all these characters, like, die in these vehicles, or are they, like, remote controlled? I really hope that for Vince's sake, these are remote controlled. Because they probably need to, like, wrestle on the house show tomorrow, right? Like, I'm pretty sure... Like, at that point, that's how it works.
High-speed ram there by Booker T.
Eat my twisty rockets, Stone Cold. Alright, cool. I remember New Legacy did a WGGP title match in Crush Hour. Oh, that's awesome!
Powerful ram there.
Do you happen to know who the match featured?
I am the game.
Yes. Alright. Oh, I got the shrapnel gun on him, brother! That's the wrong show, JR. Nice!
Well, that's about it for today. This is Jim Ross saying goodbye.
Let me check.
Sucker!
So wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest, Booker T.
Why IWC YouTube channels like WrestleMania still exist in the
Hello,
midst of
Mario.
controlled media landscape of this game? I'm gonna turn the master volume down just a little bit. Hey Devin, how you doing? Welcome on in. What are these cartoon noises? I don't know. The game's sound direction is insane. I heard these same noises in peace. play WWE Crush Hour next to Shrek. You can learn how to drive and also learn cardinal directions at the same time.
Brock Lesnar.
All right, chat. Who the fuck are we going through this campaign with?
The Kane.
I feel like if we don't pick someone with high defense, we're going to get absolutely fucked.
Chris. William Regal.
There's like a clear disparity between some of these characters and others.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
I kind of want to play as Bubba Ray Dudley because he looks like that he's like 3 seconds away from shooting out his lunch.
Hest.
But also I kind of want to throw Test a bone. So.
Bubba. The Undertaker.
I think The Undertaker would be funny to watch for like 5 minutes. But then it would get kind of old, you know? There's no way I'm playing as Triple H.
Kurt Angle. Chris Jericho.
I thought this was WWE's Vigilante 8 knockoff.
Booker T.
Not so, brother.
Rob Van Dam.
But RVD has the best handling and speed in this game, I believe.
Kishi.
Well, he sure knows how to handle it, brother. The wounds for Day of Reckoning are fresh.
Big Show.
Dude, they are. I never want to see this motherfucker again. Anytime he shows up, it's on sight, okay?
Jeff Hardy.
It's on sight.
Matt Hardy.
I could be the V1. It was Edge, Rikishi, Jeff Hardy, and Stacy Keibler in the match. Why do I remember that? If this game is made today, which WWE superstars would you see the most as death races in this game? Probably the Wyatt Six. At least that gives them something more worthwhile to do.
Kane. Steve Austin.
Also, how's the sound right now, chat? Are we sounding okay? But just generally, are we sounding okay right now? It's fine.
Brock Lesnar. The Triple.
Yeah, it's sounding fine. Okay.
Chris Kane.
Alright. You know what?
The Undertaker.
But, hold on.
Kane.
Dude, Kane is just better in every aspect than The Undertaker. Why would I pick him? Well, he probably has a different special. Rollins, McIntyre, CM Punk, Reigns, Usos, Brock Lesnar. I can list a few extras as well. Maybe leave out Brock Lesnar. Surprised Hardcore Holly's not on here. Yes, a vehicular combat, not racing, but Holly was the legit race car driver. Dude, he should have been like a bonus character. I think that would have been peak. No, fuck it. I'll be Kane just for Zach. What kind of vehicle would CM Punk ride in this game?
Hello, Jim Ross here. Thanks for joining us for what should be another monumental occasion here at the WWE.
Dude, why is he like right here in my ears?
Entering in the modified muscle car.
The modified muscle car. Here with Giraffe the GirafaStev. You fucking know it, bro.
Entering in the wood-paneled station wagon, Matt Hardy.
The wood panel, dude, he's fucked. He's fucked. Fucked shit. Thank you for the 15 stream streak, brother. Also, hi, Fluffy. In the SUV! Dude, he really is picking up his kids from soccer practice. Come on. What car does Jeff have? I don't know. They have to introduce it. It looks like it's going to be a triple threat, though, so we're not going to find it.
Let's hope this is a classic.
Defeat 5 vehicles. I will say, though, my rate of fire is not that great.
Hardy has the Twisty Rockets.
Oh, fuck. Okay, we're fucked, dude.
There's no escaping Kane.
That's not how he sounds. Wait. Does he have the mouth flaps like he did in SVR 11?
Spectacular maneuver there by Kane.
It's gotta be Kane.
Hardy attacking with great ferocity.
Great ferocity, brother.
Nice shooting there.
Hello,
By
Mario.
Kane.
By Kane? I don't know who just joined. Piecemeal Ravioli, what's up? Been a minute since you joined us. Hopefully you're doing well.
Uninvited guest.
Huh?
It's Triple.
Of course Triple H's thinking about himself even in 2002! Fuck you, Hunter, no one cares! Get off the WrestleMania poster, you chode!
Continues to
Ah! Give me my health! Get off the WrestleMania poster, you fucking chode!
powerful ram there by by Kane.
I'm sorry, where the fuck are you going, Hunter? Huh?
Man,
Ah!
shooting in all directions.
I had to like process what was happening there. Dude, I thought that he was gonna be like here to stay, but no, he just fucked off after that. Huh.
A huge collision caused there.
By
Kane.
Kane! That's gotta be Kane.
A highly effective ram maneuver pulled off there. By Kane.
By Kane! Bry? What the fuck? Rocks?
What a maneuver executed there.
Oh, no.
By Kane.
Kurt Angle has the Twisty Rockets chat. I'm pretty sure that's the Twisty Rockets.
That's the way it's done.
Huge ram.
Hello,
by
Mario.
Kane.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. First person mode.
Spectacular maneuver there. By Kane.
Chat, I just set your first person mode, and I'm afraid to tell you, I don't know how to leave it.
Spreading shots in all directions.
I'm like oh, what? Hold on. By Kane! Hello, Twiz Silver. How you doing? Welcome on into tonight's Law Boy Club meeting. We're over here trying to...
Angle. Attacking with all guns blazing.
Wait, what's this? Armor?
Kane! Blasting projectiles in all
directions. Dude, I'm actually honestly kind of sad that we didn't get King on this shit too. Are you saying that he would have nothing to contribute to this?
Well, that's
I feel that I find that very hard to believe. This meeting is brought to you by Kane!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match.
I'm pretty good here. How goes it for you? Who up twisting they rock? Dude, I'm up twisting my rocket big style all night long, dude. Your mom has been impregnated by Kane! You have just been given Ligma by Kane! Oh, it's the Impact font? LOL.
Everybody, I'm Jim Ross.
What the fuck? We're in like... We're in ancient Egypt.
Of the WWE.
Looks like... Hell in a Cell?
Entering in the modified...
Damn, wrong company. If this game was made today, one of the drivers would be forced to have the Dude Wipes logo plastered on their vehicle. I'm gonna give it this. At least it would be more natural than putting it on their goddamn shirt. You know?
SUV.
Dude, he's coming home! Timmy and Kimmy are about to be picked up from their soccer practice in this shit. With their 3 medals. That they won in soccer. Oh.
Entering in the converted pickup truck. Hess.
This domestic dispute contest has been won by Dominic Mysterio. The card descriptions are very specific. Yeah, I know, they're making them, they're making Fink sound like a goddamn, gearhead.
To remember. Good, accurate shooting there by Kurt Angle. Kane! Scattering shots all over the place.
So, like...
Kurt Angle shoots away.
I'm gonna try and get out of here, like, quickly.
Don't they?
Bubba Ray Dudley continues.
Wait, can I not leave? No, I need to be eliminated first.
Shooting in all directions.
Okay.
Yeah. Hess rules.
Sure does. Devon, get the SUVs! Wait, what the fuck do I have here?
What a maneuver executed there by Kurt Angle.
Oh wait, it's a grenade launcher?
Bubba Ray Dudley spreading shots in all directions.
Don't take it personally. I'm still your hero.
This right here? pyramid doors are now open.
By Kane!
By Kane! I'm surprised WWE never did a Mario Party clone.
Sucks. You suck.
This game of Crazy Cutter has been won by Kane!
What a collision! Shots in all directions there by Kurt Angle.
Dude, you can just like pelt. You can just pelt your opponents endlessly with this shit.
Fierce shots there.
Ah! Get me up there!
Feel the wrath of the big red machine.
Kane now has control of the twisty rocket.
Ah, you bet he fucking does, brother. That's all dicks.
Kane!
Dude, me and fucking dude, I'm just farming shit out of test here. Look at this. This opponent has been pelted
The Cheetos
endlessly.
have been provided by Kane.
The Cheetos have been provided by Kane!
Bubba Ray Dudley.
Oh, well, that was very nice of him. I'm glad he was brave enough to go to Dollar General to get them.
All over the place.
I know I wouldn't be brave enough, so you know what? I'm glad he took one for the team. Alright, who the fuck is close to dead over here? It's Kurt Angle. Ah, no, it's me, it's me! Ah, no!
Scattering shots in all directions.
God
I'll show you
dang
true
it.
strength. Canadian strength.
Is that right? Oh, wait. Was this like when he was part of like the, is this why he was part of the Un-Americans?
Shooting in all
Hi,
directions.
Henley. Hi, Oliver. You're so cute!
Oh my goodness. There was just a huge collision.
The run-in vehicle is being manned by Oliver! Okay, but that would cook.
Firing away in all directions. What a collision! I can feel the impact from here.
That's the way it's done.
Kane! Attacking.
Complete wipe!
Guns blazing.
Nice.
Feel the wrath of the big red machine.
Crushing blows there by Kurt Angle.
Chat, are you happy I picked Kane now that we've discovered?
Angle just grabbed the twisty rockets.
The twisty rockets.
You're going down.
Kane!
Are you
scattering shots all over the
I love how fucking loud JR's commentary is, because like the rest of the game is like quieter to compensate, you know? Like master volume and commentary volume are two separate dials. So like everyone is like, they're like struggling for air. Meanwhile, JR's coming in here with like, Kane! Now, Kane is over here doing my mom. A few women are in here, yeah. Yeah, like a couple of them. I mean, you got Trish, you got Stacy Keibler. Maybe one more. Feel the wrath of the big yellow long neck machine. That's all dicks, brother.
Shooting in all directions.
All I'm saying is, if I were in this game, I'll be driving like a safari buggy of some kind.
Of the Annihilator.
The Annihilator? What? What's the
It's
Annihilator?
almost time for a 2.5-minute progressive insurance break, my dudes.
Dude, a WWE Crush Hour was sponsored by Progressive Insurance. What the fuck are you doing? No! Okay, you know what? I guess that right there's tit for tat.
Scattering shots in all directions.
I'm gonna have you waste that shit, you bitch. Yeah, exactly. In order to actually make it work, you need to aim, you idiot.
Attacking with great ferocity.
No, grenade launcher! Wait, do I still have it? No, I don't.
Kane!
Dude, I'm just over here farming the grenade launcher. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm over here just farming this shit. Now look at this. Chat, watch this. Watch this. Watch this shit. I win.
Flames burn, don't they?
Well, that'll do it. On behalf of everyone here at the WWE, this is Jim Ross saying goodbye, everybody.
Triple H is having sex with Kane's mother.
The winner of this match, Kane.
If I was in here, I'd drive a tank. I'd be in a monster truck. The New Day would have a Dr. Seuss-like tank that fires pancakes. Again, I would have, like, some sort of, like, armored safari buggy. I think that'd be rad as fuck. Why is Master Volume different from the commentary? Chat, should I turn down the rest of the game and just have it be JR's commentary? For like one match?
Greetings, everybody. I'm Jim Ross. Thanks for joining us for what should be another action-packed event here at the WWE.
Yes, okay, I'll turn it down at the start of this one here.
Entering in the modified muscle car, Kane.
Oh shit! Dude, that was cool as fuck.
Can you dig it?
Who knew that Kane had...
In the SUV pickup truck hybrid, Booker T.
Dude, you're telling me that Fink knows that it's a SUV pickup truck hybrid just on sight alone?
Entering in the converted pickup truck, Bubba Ray Dudley.
The converted pickup truck. Hogan was in the game. Do you think he'd be driving in that weird monster truck?
Modified ATV.
Modified ATV. It wasn't Bubba in the match before. Yeah, he died like 10 times. I blew him up at the end. You know? All right, hold on.
Here we go. Kane! Projectiles in all directions.
He sure fucking is, dude. The world is stunned.
By Kane!
Why? Dude, why did they design it like this? You know what? I'm glad they designed it like this. Holy shit. Wait!
T has the laser-guided rockets.
Hold on, where the fuck did my... Oh, where'd my point go? Chat, where'd my point go? Did you see that? Here we go! Kane! Like he just... like he was like unsure of where he was and then he looked up. He was like, it's Kane! Guided rockets! Now he doesn't. I have no laser-guided rockets, but... You know, I could. I could with enough luck. You should make a renew that says by Kane. Chat, I need to like extract the lines from here and like make a redeem out of it. He's just so happy to see Kane.
Benoit.
JR, no! No! Don't say that!
Bubba Ray Dudley scattering shots in all directions.
Chris Benoit mentioned is pretty sick, I won't lie. Goddamn Chris Benoit mention is pretty sick, I won't lie.
Chris Benoit continues to pull the trigger.
Don't say that, please. Don't you dare say that. Chris Benoit!
Booker T just snatched the laser-guided rockets. A highly effective ram maneuver pulled off there by Chris Benoit.
Really now?
Booker T with another point.
Laser-guided rockets!
Kane now has control of the Annihilator.
Dude, having a pickup called the Annihilator is insane work. Why are you... Why? I love how you can hear his breath. Dude, how do you, like,
Booker
score
T.
in this game?
Scores again. Still out in front.
How do you score in this?
Booker T has the Annihilator.
Best episode ever. How fitting.
Powerful ram there by Kane.
Oh, wait. I figured it out. You need to like grab points on the field. I get it. Anytime that you die, you lose a point. I got it. So like, it really isn't about how many points. It's like, it's not really about JR, shut up. It's not really about how many people you shoot down. It's about the points that you get and staying alive. It's like, JR, shut up.
Vicious blows there by Booker T.
Dude, he's so locked into this shit. It's
Booker
crazy.
T gets another point. Needs one more.
No! Fuck no!
WWE, I'm good old JR saying.
And as his reward, Booker T dies. Alright, we're gonna leave that up for one more. I think that has limited shelf life, but I don't think we've reached it yet.
And we're underway.
Invulnerability, nice.
Booker T blasts away. Kane just picked
Where?
up the Annihilator.
Dude, like, come on.
Huge ram by Kane.
Dude, stop picking up the shit right when it spawns.
Chris Benoit just grabbed the twisty rockets.
Did he now? Well, listen. I just got a point, bitch. Ah! Fuck you, man.
Powerful ram there by Kane.
I am sorry.
Chris Benoit scores another point. The job's half done. Chris Benoit. Another point. Halfway there.
Dude, you just said that.
What a maneuver by Booker T.
Chris Benoit. Nice. By Kane. Ow. God, this is so depressing.
Scattering shots.
He does.
All over the place.
Like every time he says Chris Benoit, he says it with his whole chest.
Scattering shots in all directions.
He like says it with his entire chest. It's great. God, this is so depressing. You think it is? I think it's fucking hilarious, dude.
Kane now has the Annihilator.
Dude, do I now have the Annihilator? That's insane. I will say it's pretty annoying that anytime that you die, you lose a point.
Kane continues to shoot.
Dude, he fell out of love with
Chris
Kane
Benoit
for Chris Benoit.
blasting projectiles in all directions.
Dude, he was like, friendship ended with Kane. I now love Chris Benoit, which is like, I mean, like, listen, it's always fuck Kane,
What a
but
maneuver executed
let's get with
there
the program
by
here.
Booker T.
It's always fuck Kane, but we need to get with the actual program here. They have no mouth, they must scream.
Kane!
Okay, he's back. Okay, we want him back. We want him back. Chat, we want him back. Fuck! No! No! No, 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 no! Dude, where the fuck is my vulnerability? That's mine! You bitch!
Goodness, what a collision.
Chris Benoit! Just stole my power-up.
Kane
Bitch.
just picked up the laser-guided rockets.
And I just lost the laser-guided rockets. What do you think about that, buddy? I guess in this universe, the Fritz family no longer owns NASCAR. Oh well, I hope Tony Stewart
Well, that's
is
about
still
it for
2002 champion.
This is Jim Ross saying goodbye.
Chris Benoit just sunk my battleship. I don't know, I kind of fuck with this a little bit.
There's the bell. Let's hope this is a classic.
If it is, it won't be because of Kane. I used to like him, now I don't. It's all about Chris Benoit!
By Booker T!
It's all about Chris Benoit in this house now.
Just picked up
the Twisty Rockets. And I just killed Chris Benoit. Fuck! Okay, hold on. Dude, like, it really is, like, about luck, I feel like.
Kane has the laser-guided rockets.
Oh, imagine if 2019 Bray Wyatt was in this game. He'd be riding in a giant muscle car with the Fiend's face on the front, like the Joker-mobile in Batman Arkham Knight.
I think that'd be pretty sick, honestly. Oh, shit. Ah!
Bubba Ray Dudley now has the Twisty
Rockets. God damn it, I want the Twisty Rocket. Chris Benoit!
Away in all directions.
Dude, like, they're saying things, but I'm not hearing them. Like, they're saying shit, but I ain't.
Oh my!
I ain't
that
listening.
Collision had to have done some
Y'all hear something?
Damage.
Y'all hear something? Because I don't. Like, no one is getting ahead here. Ah, really? Dude, come on. Crispy Wah. Crispy Ball!
A huge collision caused there by Kane. Booker T has the Annihilator. This could be interesting.
And now he's been annihilated.
Powerful ram there by Bubba Ray Dudley.
Okay, I'm just gonna stay alive here for a second. I'm gonna try to stay alive.
Spectacular maneuver there by
Oh, you know what, Bubba? I'm gonna fucking kill you, brother.
Some accurate shooting there by Kane.
Kane? Dude, I don't get him. I don't think he really likes us all that much, chat.
Kane.
He used to be one of our biggest water carriers, maybe our only water carrier, and now he doesn't give a single fuck about us. Ah, that's mine, you bitch!
Chris Benoit just grabbed the Annihilator.
You scuffed it, I did! No, I don't want goddamn Booker T to win this again. I'm not getting goddamn Booker T to win this shit again.
Huge blast by Kane.
By Kane? I fucking hate Kane, that son of a bitch.
Booker T!
No.
With another point. One more to win. A huge collision caused there.
I really do not want to, like, replay this one, though. JR's a fair weather cheerleader. He is! Bitch.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
No. The laser-guided rockets! No! Fucking
Benoit
kill him!
now has control of the Annihilator.
That's mine, you bitch! Give me it.
Booker T gets another point. Needs one more.
Dude, like, literally, if you're just not in the spawning area, you may as well not even go for it, I feel like. If you're not right there when it spawns, you may as well have already lost it.
A high-speed ram there by Booker T.
Ah, there we go. Holy shit.
As much as I did.
If McMahon actually did do Crush Hour, imagine the lawsuits. I don't know, man. I'm pretty We are free from the hell of get 5 without dying. I feel like that the worst is yet to come. Okay, I think we suffered enough with the weird fucking commentary. I'm still going to... I'm gonna leave it at like 50 because I think it's funny to have JR just like completely dominate the audio. But I feel like we should have like some audio, you know? We should have like just a little bit, you know, as a treat. Grab the bell and hold on to it for a full 30 seconds.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Ross. Welcome to another action-packed event here at the WWE.
Dude, like, you can hear, like, his mouth noises, too. Do you hear that? You can hear, like, the little, like, snarls. The fake is so quiet! Bugs Bunny is coming to Fortnite. No way. He's gonna be joining Ed in Fortnite. Along with not Sonic, because we can't have good things in this world. Ever. Well, awesome, Bisha. I'm sorry, I didn't even hear what he comes out in. I'm sorry, chat.
Entering in the wood-pedaled station wagon, Matt Hardy.
Well, you ruined it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I try not to, but it just kind of happens that way. No, we need to have the commentary there. That's part of it.
And with that bell, this match is underway.
I tried my best, Chad. I'm sorry.
Laughs away. A huge collision instigated there by Kane.
Flames burn, don't they?
What a maneuver.
Like, at some point, it just becomes like a battle of attrition. You know?
Matt Hardy firing away.
Don't take it personally. I'm still your hero.
Will this be a demolition derby than a wrestling? Will this be more a demolition derby than a wrestling match? I mean, that's kind of what it is, you know?
Kurt Angle attacking with great ferocity.
That's kind of what we're doing here, you know? It's meant to be kind of a demolition derby.
That's the way it's done.
Huge ram by Kane. Kane.
I'm trying to grab the health
10
power-ups,
seconds to go.
but it's a little hard. 4, 5, 3, 2.
Some accurate shooting there.
Dude, let's go.
By the Big Show.
Do you think Matt found that station wagon? The appearance of geese. You just got chicken from Cane's. At least says Matt Hardy like a wood-paneled station wagon. Dude, when I think of wood-paneled station wagon, I think I'm about to pull up to a goddamn like Fish concert. I don't think about like, you know, this. Matt strongly dislikes mustard, so I've heard. I read that somewhere. On the Gamecube, in fact. What if Vulcan Matt Hardy's vehicle was a rider mower with missiles?
Hello,
well, he'd be mowing Matt Hardy, I think.
Joining us for what should be another monumental occasion here at the WWE.
I'm pretty sure that would just be mowing Matt Hardy, right? Like he's getting up, getting on the mower, going across the front and back. Maybe saying hi to his neighbor Jim while he's doing it. Oh god, the other stuff for house shows. Do you smell, chat?
Entering in the luxury sports car, The Rock.
Luxury sports car? And that is a luxury sports car. That shit looks so tiny compared to everything else.
Yeah, you stink, Gyra.
Entering in the steamroller.
They made sure that you saw his giant fucking butt there, man.
Entering in the wood-pedaled station wagon.
Dude, I'm fucking tired of facing Matt Hardy, dude. Yeah, you stink, Gira. I know I do, but like, look at Rikishi. He literally painted his butt on the back of his car. What about that is... Like, what about that is, like, perfume smell to you?
Champion
You know?
now has control of the Twisty Rockets.
Oh boy, does he? That's a bad omen.
Now has the laser-guided rockets.
Nice.
No escaping Kane.
What a maneuver by Kane!
I will say that this game captures Kane better than
Now has
SVR
control of the
2011.
laser-guided rockets.
By virtue of it, like, actually... Oh boy, it's Big Dick Fatu. Hold on.
Kane just grabbed the laser-guided rockets.
Wait, did I just
Kane
waste those?
spreading shots in all directions. Spectacular maneuver there by Kane.
God damn it, I let Matt Hardy in his goddamn fishmobile
Huge ram by Kane.
steal that from me. Matt only drinks low-fat chocolate
On the
milk.
bull.
Are you, like, looking up his... Are you looking up the Matt facts right now?
The Rockers laying the smackdown on all your candy assets.
Matt Hardy shooting in all directions.
Honestly, pretty good voice work there on The Rock. I'm not used to hearing him in a WWE game.
Has the
Like,
laser-guided
ever.
rockets.
I don't think he ever does voice work for WWE games now because he costs so much. Dude, imagine if Hurricane Helms was in this game. His vehicle is basically a green Batmobile. That'd be awesome.
A high-speed ram there by Kane.
Dude, I just pushed him into the saw blades. That's awesome.
Let's see if you have what it takes.
I'm sorry, what did you do there, Matt?
Has the Twisty Rockets. The Rock just snatched the laser-guided rockets. Kane continues to fire away.
If you smell.
The Rock wishes he could
Hello,
eat
Mario.
candy ass molded off Rikishis.
By Matt Hardy.
He's like looking at the back of the steamroller and he's getting ideas.
Snatched the Twisty Rockets.
Granted, I see him.
Feel the wrath of the big red machine.
The People's Champion blasts away.
Nice, 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 nice.
Matt Hardy attacking with great ferocity.
Dude, I could have sworn that Rikishi
By Kane.
had more points earlier on in this. Did he not? I could have sworn that he had a point. Did he not?
To shoot away.
The Rockers laying the smackdown on all your candy assets.
I guess he didn't have a point. Matt is ridiculously underrated. I mean, look at him. He's got 5 whole points.
Now has the Twisty Rockets.
What about that is mid to you? You know? Like, what about that shit is mid to you?
Wow. What a collision.
Bye?
A huge collision.
I'm not going to acknowledge Kane. Okay, never mind. I acknowledge Kane now. We fucking love Kane up here in the Raw Dome.
Kane.
We fucking love Kane.
Of the laser-guided rockets.
I love the laser-guided rockets when Kane's got them.
Hardy.
But when Matt freaking Hardy has them, I hate him.
Looks like
For a sec, I thought Jim Ross said Matt's Hardy. I mean, that's what Matt is whenever he's late to class.
Kane now has the Annihilator.
The flames burn, don't they?
I'm sorry.
Speed ram there by Kane.
So hold on. I was told that there would be goddamn motherfucking,
Fierce shots there.
TV show spoofs in the season mode. We've been through 5 matches so far, and I've not seen anything like that.
Huge collision there. Well, WWE.
I feel like if AEW did a game like this, Adam Page should have a car like The Rock's. I mean, he does drive up in a Tesla with bullhorns, so
Ladies and gentlemen,
that would be, like, character accurate.
Kane.
Also, Patootie, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Hopefully, you had a good day. Your week is ending well. fact, I hope everyone's week is ending well. Matt strongly dislikes mustard. I think Devin posted that one already. But honestly, Matt has no taste on that one. I gotta hand him the L. Because mustard's pretty good. Especially honey mustard. I hope Matt Hardy is in the next match. Dude, I fucking hope so too. That would be awesome. I'd pop so hard. Matt likes pulp in his orange juice. Based! Holy fucking shit. Okay, finally.
On WWE Cooking, Kane grills up some delicious foie gras. Now, some people like mesquite, others swear by briquettes. Let's see what Kane prefers. Hey, that's dynamite! Oh,
That's me, like, making shit with the WWE cookbook chat.
And now, back to WWE Crush Hour.
Thanks for the narration code. Where the heck is Jeff freaking Hardy? He's over at TNA right now,
Welcome
dude.
everyone to what should be another scintillating
Welcome to
week
SmackDown.
WWE. I'm Jim Ross.
Hey, that's Dynamite! AEW, let's go ignite! In a flash of light. Well,
Entering in the big rig.
in the big rig. Okay, that makes sense. The big rig with a goddamn hook on it that does nothing. Yeah, I need to catch up on Dynamite at some point. It's pretty good. Consistently. Big Greg for a big show. Big Show from the Big Show show? No way. Dude, I should let him win this one. Obviously. Oh no, dude, I got the Big Show and Cross Bennett here. Dude, this is like my hell world. I hate this, actually.
Now has the Annihilator.
No. Do not give him the Annihilator, please. I don't know what he's gonna do with that.
A high-speed ram there by Kane.
Hold on, am I damaging myself by ramming into him?
Pulled off there by Kane.
Dude, that was not highly effective. Alright, I'm gonna retreat for a second.
By Chris Benoit.
God damn it.
I'll pound you into the ground.
Will you now? Wait, does he have invulnerability? He sure does.
Firing away in all directions. Wow.
I'll tell you what, my left finger's getting a real workout from pressing drift so much.
Away. Spectacular maneuver there.
Nice, I'm finally on the board.
There's no escaping Kane.
Chris Benoit.
Oh, he's back, brother. The biggest homer of all time is back.
One is now in session.
I wonder what a Royal Rumble in this game would be. I mean, we do have the Royal Rumble arena.
Just grabbed.
Wait, no!
Never seen anything like this show.
Huge ram by Chris Benoit.
The harpoon does have function. It shoots out. Okay. Okay, well that makes more sense.
What a maneuver by the Big Show.
Star of the Big Show show. Okay. Now they're just gonna keep shooting at each other until one of them blows up. My dog Dusty recently got fixed and must sleep with a cone of shame. And that's what happens, dude. You can't have him reproducing in your house. Oh no, not the WWE branded soda.
Kane.
I'm sorry, why am I not damaging you?
Lazy.
Shit, dude, there's something flying. You think the hold on.
My. That collision had to have done some serious damage.
Hello, Mario.
I'm going to refrain from answering that
Big red machine.
because I feel like in the grand scheme of like the world. Whatever the fuck WWE's doing means very little. But I will say that the war is very bad. Obviously. Come on.
There's some rough treatment being dished out right now by Kane. The Big Show.
Pixelized Avatar is awesome. What the fuck? I know! It's so good.
A huge collision caused there by Chris Benoit.
Try me. Prove me wrong.
Chris Benoit just snatched the Annihilator.
I will say, though, that if it takes a war for, you know, the WWE to finally, like, stop doing shows in Saudi,
scattering shots in all directions,
then that says something. I don't know what it says, but I don't like what it insinuates.
Kane.
Anyways.
Blasting away. Chris Benoit. Spreading shots in all directions. Kane.
It's very good for soothing fragile egos. Yes, you're right. Although when you look at who started it, it's probably not even good at... There's only so much work it can do even in that department. People regretting its alliances with the current administration. Dude, I would regret, you know, aligning with the Trump administration just based on the fact that it's the Trump administration.
Chris Benoit.
I don't need any ulterior motives to fucking do that for me.
Feel the wrath of
oh my god, that's... My god. Kane's special is literally just an insta-kill, depending on...
it's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Hold on. I'll go ahead and snooze that. I don't like how there's, like, no music in these levels. Is this how the game always was? Is there literally no music besides what's on the menu? And the wrestler themes? Because it feels very empty without music.
A high-speed ram there, but Chris Benoit!
No, it's not. Wait, is there supposed to be music?
By Kane.
Is there supposed to be music or no? Like dude! Triple H again? Get out of here, man! Get off the poster! What are you doing? This isn't about you! Ow!
By Kane!
Triple H, get out of our company! Considering the cartoon sound effects, it might not have been in the budget. You're right about that, brother. You got a really solid point there.
Chris Benoit just snatched the Annihilator.
But no, like... I don't need a pointless forever war to fucking tell you that, you know, aligning with... you know, them being the Trump admin is a bad idea. Just for, like, the long-term health of your brand.
The Big Show has the Twisty Rockets. Powerful ram there by Kane!
As far as I know, there's no music in the matches, which is odd. It makes them feel very, like, empty, doesn't it? Like, it feels weird.
Prove me wrong.
I don't like it. I suddenly want to hear some Mario Kart. Did Randy Orton and Batista have cars? Nope. This was before Batista, like, officially debuted in WWE.
Well, that'll do it. On behalf of everyone here at the WWE, this is Jim Ross saying goodbye, everybody.
Like, the lack of ambient noise also makes it very weird because it's like JR's right there in the room with you. Put in the minor circuit theme. Yeah, you're right. I guess I could just insert my own music, couldn't I? Chad, are you fine if I just put in my own fucking music? Because we could do that. And you have a bootleg... Had to have a bootleg Booker T theme and everything. Dude, that really is like a... Dude, that's like a bootleg T. You know? That's like bootleg T that you're dealing with. Okay. WWE Lo-Fi. Oh, Lo-Fi. Okay. Is there WWE Lo-Fi? Oh god, yes there is. Dude, we can fucking take our pick here. This here is really like dealer's choice. Hold on. It's not showing. Wait, it's not showing because I don't have this on. This really is like dealer's choice here. But like, my concern is that this was probably made with AI because like lo-fi hip hop has been just inundated with that shit. Like look at this right here. Like look at that. That's very obviously like an AI Cena. But this right here is just like an illustration. So yes. Aren't you an AI giraffe? You listen here, motherfucker. I will not suffer fools on my Twitch chat. All right. I suffer enough as it is. What would a lo-fi version of Real Americans sound like? Well, let's see what we got here.
Your intelligence is certainly artificial, Gira.
Oh god.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Do we want to keep this chat? I'm fine with it. Actually, I fuck with that, Loki. I fuck with that. I'm curious about Lo-Fi CM Punk, not gonna lie. I'm curious about
It's
that
break
too.
time.
You know
Where the
what? We'll
heck's
keep
the
this for a
Cheetos,
little
my
bit.
dudes?
But first, Raw rolls on.
The cinema scenes of Ninja Gaiden 2? Now that's a good cinema scene.
I was gonna say just put on some Twisted Metal music. I mean, that'd be easy, you know? This right here. This is Raw, baby. Alright, cool. But no, we gotta keep it like on brand here, I feel like. You know? We gotta keep it on brand. In order to be on brand, we gotta lean into the wrestling. Plus, I kinda wanna see what...
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to Raw. Plus, I kinda wanna see like what the lo-fi WWE sounds like. My only concern again is that this is going to be like AI generated slop, but it's hard to tell with music. With sorry. With that artwork, it was very obvious. But this actually looks like someone made it. So, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. You could add before 2022 or 23 if you want to filter it out for a certain... That's very true. That's very true. So here, let's go ahead and let's... try and filter it out. Upload date. No, it only does it, like, based on, like... Sorry, based on, like, the current, like, year. If I try to sort it by popularity, the first thing it does is gives me WWE Randy Orton Voices theme song slow and reverbed, which I don't really want. Hold on. What the fuck was that, like? Skylark, are you still in Skylark, are you still in chat? Because I'm calling upon your expertise. Put what I typed in the search bar. Okay. Before 2022. That is very AI generated. Chat, look at this. Look at this shit right here. You could not try to be more AI generated if you tried. Who is this man? Who is this man? Who's that? Who's this? This right here is not... This is not a wrestler. This here is Omni-Man. This is also not a wrestler. Not to my knowledge. Reed Richards. Reed Richards is probably the right answer. Cold as stone. That looks like a buff Reed Richards. Dude, what? No. No. I mean, I could put on David Otunga's theme. Fuck it. I'll just put it on with this. That second one was AI Corey Graves. That could be Rusev? Lukewarm Stu Austin is correct. That's honestly the right answer. Alright, we're gonna just kind of let this ride then. I feel like we could just let this ride.
Greetings, everybody. Thanks for joining us for what should be another action-packed event here at the WWE.
The music may have gotten better, but I still run the show.
In the modified muscle car, Kane.
Does the Law Boy Club acknowledge our tribal chief Roman Reigns? Fuck no. He should acknowledge me. I'm the one that's showing up to work every week.
Entering in the converted pickup truck, Hess.
I'm the one that's coming into work every single fucking week, not him. Dude, how have we not seen Jeff Hardy once, but we've seen Matt Hardy 3 times?
Steamroller, Rikishi.
Well, awesome. Big Show. The last ride. I don't even know how to win this. How do you win this? Oh, battle for the contract.
Underway.
It's so loud. Here, hold on. I have a better idea.
Test. Shoots away. Test. Continues to shoot away.
Riveting commentary here.
Oh no. I'm
Some
about to
accurate shooting
experience
there
digestion again.
by Test.
Here we go again. GRRRBLBLBLBL.
Rikishi has the
GLLRK.
laser-guided rockets.
Bluewood. GLLRRGGGGHHH. Slosh. Slosh. GRRRBLBLBLBL. Glorp. GLLRK.
Just grab the
Bluewood.
twisty rockets.
Damn, I'm gonna
GLLRRGGGGHHH.
fucking kill you, man.
Slosh. Slosh.
I can feel the
GRRRBLBLBLBL.
impact from
Glorp.
here.
GLLRK. Bluewood.
Rikishi
GLLRRGGGHHH. Slosh. Slosh. GRRRBLBLBLBL. Glorp. GLLRK. Bluewood. GLLRRGGGHHH. Slosh. Slosh, GRRRBLBLBLBL. Glorp. GLLRRK. Blue Whip. GLLRRRGGGGHHH. Slosh. Slosh, GRRRBLBLBLBL.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, Dan.
GLLRRK. Blue Whip. GLLRRRGGGGHHH. I don't know who that poser was.
I feel like you couldn't... Actually, no, that wasn't Dan. That was Brian. I'm sorry, but that sounded like a Dan fucking redeem. That sounded like something he would redeem just to make him say some... to make him say some fuck shit.
Control of the Annihilator. The Big
You could
Show
probably make a YouTube poop out of it. You gotta get that YouTube poop style sentence mixing.
The Big Show grabs the contract.
Oh, so it's like a capture the flag type of scenario. Somebody clip that.
The bell's gone.
You can
and
fucking
we're
clip it,
underway
brother. It's your redeem, you clip it.
A huge collision caused there by Kane. A huge collision instigated there by Kane.
By Kane!
Rikishi continues to blast away. Test now has control of the laser-guided rockets.
Does he now? Gauge is up.
What a maneuver by Kane!
Oh, so it like acts as like a last man standing thing until...
Look!
Rather like until the contract is up.
Free. What a maneuver executed there by Kane!
Let's fucking go, wow. Christian Gage is up. All the fathers better watch out.
And off we go.
All the fathers in attendance need to watch out.
A huge volley of fire there by the Big Show.
A huge volley of fire! Checks notes. By the Big Show. Dakota Redheart!
Hello, Mario.
With the Long Boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. How the fuck are you doing tonight, friend? What were you streaming on your end, and did you have fun doing it? For those of you who are unaware, my name is GirafaStev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very long and large enjoyer of games, wrestling, other hyperfixations, such as Kane having the laser-guided rockets. What the fuck, Big Show? Get off my ass! Hi. I play a lot of wrestling games. This is, believe it or not, one of those games. This is WWE Crush Hour for the Nintendo Gamecube. It's pretty weird. It is a Twisted Metal
by the Big Show.
Test as the Twisty Rockets. And JR's not very happy about that. He wishes it was the Big Show.
Huge collision there.
Personally, if he had it his way, it would be the Big Show.
The laser-guided rockets.
No way.
By Kane.
No way. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Kane has the twisty testes.
I said stream was fun and we were doing the wrestling chapter at Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, all based. That's actually the second time someone's rated into me with that. Yeah, we got sick of there being no music in this game, so we just added our own music. What are we listening to right now? Oh, Roman Reigns. Wait, what was LA Nice music? Oh. I can kind of hear it.
If John Cena was in this game, would he be a stealth bomber?
The stealthiest. I want to hear Punk. would be a stealth bomber, yes. You know, the stream's been going pretty well, I feel like. Thank you very much for the raid, my friend. If you do need to raid and run, that's absolutely okay, but I appreciate it anyways. But yeah, the stream has been going good. This game is weird. I don't really think I like it that much, but I don't really dislike it either. It's just kind of there for the most part. And the most fun we've been having was, like, turning down all the audio and just letting...
Evening, folks. I'm Jim Ross, and I'd like to welcome you to what should be another momentous occasion here at the WWE.
And just like JR just completely dominate the audio. Because for some reason the commentary in this game is separate from the rest of the sound. So like you can just mute everything else and just have JR completely just suffocate the rest of the soundscape of this game. It's honestly very funny. It's the best part of this game. Dude, I'm sick of seeing the Big Show. I'm sick of Kurt Angle. Just go pick up your fucking kids, dude. They're waiting for you. They're starving. They want the gummy worms that you promised them. That's the third Big Show since I joined. Dude, how have we seen this many Dudley, this many Matt Hardy, this many Big Show, but we've not seen Lesnar? We've not seen goddamn Triple H aside from run-ins, which is very funny. And we got a four-way to cars we sick and tired of facing.
Let's hope this one is one to remember.
So hold on. How do we, like, win this? Do we just, like, need to capture the thing?
Dudley,
just like last time?
scattering
Oh, no! Okay, hold on. I'm pretty sure that this is kind of like a capture the point sort of thing like it was before, but now we're on top of these, like, skyscrapers, right? And if we get blown up, then we lose a point. Oh, goodness. And dude, especially here, it really is all a luck of the draw, I feel like. If you're not... Wait. Hold on. That's Asuka! I can hear it. Far and wide, light years away. Hold on. Why are we driving on the rooftop of buildings? Why not? That's sick, dude.
Oh my! What a collision!
No!
Maneuver there.
Ah! Just have like that one Kirby meme of him falling, and just put the sound over that.
Kane firing away in all directions.
I love how much of a Kane fan he is. Where the fuck is this point? No, honestly, the lo-fi has added a lot to this experience, I'm not gonna lie.
Continues to shoot away.
The addition of lo-fi is done selling to my... No! You... No! Dude! Really? God damn it. Dude, I'm pointless. I had 2 points, now I don't have any. I don't have any now. And again, like, if they don't spawn towards you, you may as well have already lost them. You may as well not even, like, try at that point. Because if they haven't spawned towards you, they've spawned towards another player, and they're already en route to getting it. Like, look at that.
Intense.
Kane was faster.
By Kane.
Like, Kurt was faster at picking up that point than he was picking up his kids from soccer practice. Now I'm supposed to compete. No, are you kidding me? No! I'm back to 0, man. I'm back to 0 fucking points. Now, I remember this level in particular being a real bitch. So, you know, back when we first played. Shit, no. No! Dude, we are just in the trenches right now. Alright, come on. Like, that was honestly kind of lucky right there. If I can get this first try, I might just run out of this room. We have to face Big Show. If we have to face Big Show again, we riot. Dude,
Big Show.
This game only has like 30 characters, and we keep seeing like
This could get interesting.
6 of them.
A high-speed ram there.
This game has like 6 characters, and we've seen like 8 of them so far.
Kurt Angle scores another.
Rather has like 30 characters, I meant.
Done.
Dude, Kurt Angle already has 5 of them. He has more points than he does like kids to pick up. And he's so quick about it. God damn it. That's my point, you bitch. That's mine. And you know what? I don't like you. Get fucked, Kurt. No! Come on, make it. No! Oh! Really, dude? I want to get him, dude.
Kane attacking with all guns blazing.
I wanted that Elam so much. But I couldn't get it. If we had to face Big Show again, we riot. I will say that we are kind of approaching the end of tonight's show. Just because if I don't get sleep, I'm going to really regret it tomorrow when I go in for work. Nice. No, Kurt! Dude, how are you so quick?
Executed there by the Big Show.
And look at that. Like, Bubba's gonna get out of his comatose state. And look at that. Now he has it.
Powerful ram there by Kane.
I realize I need to...
Angle scores again. One more point for victory.
He only needs one more. This can go on for like minutes at a time.
By the Big Show. Kurt Angle attacking with great ferocity.
Curb Angle? No. No. Oh, hey, I saved myself. I saved myself. Yee-hee. No. No. Come on, man. God damn it.
Huge ram by Kane.
Notice how JR never mentions that we just ate shit. Honestly, that's very nice of him.
Kane just picked up the laser-guided rocket.
Oh, you bet he did. Ah, come on.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
No, Kane's gonna... No, Kurt's gonna win this shit. Please. Dude, if I can win this one and then we end on it, I will be the happiest giraffe that's ever lived. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If we can, like, end on this and win it, no way. Chad, did you see that? Kurt Angle just got fucking sunlocked there. He just completely just forgot what he was doing. No. 3! Oh, yes, brother.
A huge collision instigated there by Bubba Ray Dudley.
Oh, you son of a bitch, Bubba. No, you need to touch it, dude. It's not simply enough to go into its vicinity. You need to be there and touch it. Oh wait, the fucking first person mode is moving the C stick. It's very disorienting, honestly. I'll try it for a minute. Oh, nice!
A huge collision caused there.
No, that's bad for this, honestly. That's really bad for this. Oh my god. Chat, we're picking up. We're picking it. Ah, no! No. I will not let Kurt win it after all this time. Like, look at that. That was there for like half a second.
Bubba Ray Dudley now has the laser-guided rockets.
Got burned by fire. Ironic. And he is a burn victim, so really I just had him, like, relive trauma right there. Pretty shit of me, honestly.
Now has control of the laser-guided rockets. Powerful ram there by Bubba Ray Dudley.
Bubba, you fucked us both, you idiot! No! Now, dude, now Kurt's gonna win this shit.
Just grabbed the laser-guided rocket.
Ah, you son of a bitch, Bubba. Yeah, that wasn't really cool of me, was it? Oh, no. Come on, man. I want to make that jump. I'm gonna go flying off this building, aren't I? Nope. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. That was finesse right there. Shouts out Chris Bay. Oh, that was finesse. The master of finesse. No way! Oh no, I was so close to like just completely choking that. That was almost real bad. No. Just play it safe. Play it safe. No, dude!
The Big Show just snatched the laser.
I kind of brought that one on myself. God, that could have come out of a cartoon. I know, that was awesome. This ain't Monster Jam, pal. I need to remember that. Dude, everyone has 6 points but me. Kurt's back up to 7. I don't even know what song this is that we're listening to. It's something alright. That much is for certain. It sounds familiar, though. I will give it that.
Kane has
That's my point, you bitch! No!
That spells trouble. Spectacular maneuver there by Kane.
Nice.
A huge collision instigated there by Kane.
Oh no, I need to get Kurt. Curb angle!
Needs one more.
The last one was EOS. That last one was EOS Sky, I think. Oh, okay. That's sick. Dude.
Well, everyone, that about wraps it up. This is OJR saying goodbye and inviting you to join us in our next.
No. I want to end on a W, chat.
There's the bell. Let's see
that
if someone lives up to the hype.
What? How are you faster than me? You have like the lowest speed in the game, Paul.
Shots there by Kane.
You have like the lowest speed in this whole game. What are you talking about? That's mine, bitch.
The Big Show just grabbed the laser-guided rocket.
The Big Show should have been mine, you idiot. Get back here.
A high-speed ram there by Kane.
Dude, I will not have the Big Show beat us like this.
There's some rough treatment being dished out right now by Kane.
This makes me feel like I'm in like a Christmas party.
Kane now
Not
has
the game, but the
laser
music.
guided rockets.
The game makes me feel like I'm in hell. Hey, listen, man, if I die, it doesn't mean anything. Ow! If I die, it don't mean anything. Dude, Big Show's already got...
Out in front.
What? That was up there for like a fifth of a second. Did you see that? I'm just getting nothing up here.
The Big Show just picked up the laser guided rockets. Bubba Ray Dudley just snatched the Annihilator.
Holy shit, that was a cool flip. What song is this, Chad? Do you know? Just by listening to it? Because I don't.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
This right here is why I used to play guitar, but I never, like, got good at it. Because I can't... Aw, I got that. I stole that from you, you bitch. Not so good now. Huh, Kurt?
Curb angle.
Curb angle!
In all directions.
I don't watch the product. I don't watch it enough to know either.
Collision instigated there.
A huge AEW collision. Ah! No! No! Come on, dude! No! This ain't Monster Jam, Stev! I've not played Monster Jam since I was like 12! Get off my case!
Kurt Angle now has control of the laser-guided rockets.
Dude. Dude, what are these spawns?
Powerful ram there.
What are these spawns? You know, at some point I need to, like, just start blaming it on my skill. And really my lack thereof for this game. But my finger's also kind of hurting, too.
Kane just picked up the laser-guided rockets.
Not to say, did Bubba just, like, fall off the stage? Dude! Dude, I'm pretty sure that Bubba just glitched. No way. Dude, I think Bubba glitched. He has no clue what to do. Bubba has been indisposed. He has been indisposed. No one attack Bubba. He can't do shit now.
With another point.
No.
One more to win.
Where are you, Kurt? I'm coming for you. Oh, hey, hold on. I'm coming for you, you bitch.
Curb angle.
Curb angle.
In all directions.
No. No, 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 no. Big Show, get it. Yes, Big Show. Good job. Now, fuck you, dude. For real. Yeah, get out of here, you bitch.
By Kane.
The acceleration in this game is very sensitive, by the way. How? Why does he spawn so close to it? God damn it.
Curb angle.
Curb angle.
One more point for victory.
I have to like fight from underneath this whole time.
Kane now has the laser-guided rockets.
I'm focusing.
Well, that about wraps it up. I'm JR saying...
Oh, it didn't even matter, dude. Bubba got stuck and it didn't even matter. You know what? Maybe it's to our benefit that they don't get stuck.
And away we go. Remember, the points win the gauntlet race.
This is a race? Ah! Kurt Angle is a fucking menace. I know. I don't know what his deal is. But he's got some beef to queef, dude. He's got some ancient chief beef to queef. I was about to say, if I don't make that jump. Because, like, the thing about the Big Show is that ramming into him is kind of pointless because he has the biggest car in this game. So, like, really the best shot you have are whatever bullets you've got, I feel like. Oh, that was so sick, dude. I didn't even need a ramp.
Huge collision there.
God damn it, JR. Dude, like, imagine you're, like, playing this in your room and you have no volume, right? You're just hearing JR. And it goes, like, 30 seconds without him saying anything.
Kurt Angle.
And then he finally pipes up. That would scare the shit out of you, wouldn't it? I'm sorry. Fire pushed me back?
Bubba Ray Dudley.
No way.
Just grabbed the Annihilator.
Nice. Drew McIntyre.
Kane just grabbed the laser-guided rockets.
I wouldn't know that guitar anywhere.
A huge collision.
Ah, go fuck yourself, Kurt.
It's almost time for a 2.5 minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
I'm here on my own. Okay.
Bubba Ray Dudley now has control of the laser-guided rockets. Spectacular maneuver there by Kurt Angle.
Say goodbye indeed. Fuck! I'm sorry. Why are you all bombarding me for? Ah, really? I was going so quick.
What a collision.
Okay, that was kind of cool. I will give you that. That was kind of cool, my friend. You did kind of earn that one.
What a maneuver by Kurt Angle.
Oh, I just gave him that, dude.
Huge ram by Kane.
Okay, I was about to say. This really is just like a battle of attrition here, I feel like. No! Okay, okay, okay. Ooh, nice!
Another point. Halfway there.
Play this smart. Play it smart.
Kane! Scattering shots in all directions.
Nice.
Kane
What the?
now has the laser-guided rockets.
I am ruthless in this match. Anyone who comes up to me will have to answer to the laser-guided rockets.
Accurate shooting there by the Big Show.
Come on. Give me that shit. Great.
Spectacular maneuver there by Kurt Angle.
Like, I'm not even, like, bothering with, like, shooting these guys. I'm just getting the points. I figured that's the best course of action. Oh, no way!
Kane!
This aggression really is ruthless, yeah. What have I got? I've got the big fat W!
For you tonight, I'm Jim Ross saying so long, everybody.
Holy shit, what collapsed over there? What the hell collapsed over there behind me? Oh my gosh. Dude, even the stage is impressed with me after that. Even the stage is impressed with me after that showing. That's good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will take that dub and put it in the bank. Bless me, sorry. Here, let's see if there's a cutscene. Let's see if there's a cutscene. Hold on. Battle Royal. Eliminate all 11 opponents before they eliminate you.
Good evening, folks. I'm Jim Ross.
We can do one more.
I'd like to welcome you to what should be another momentous occasion here at the WWE.
Oh, God.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. We got a match with Jeff Hardy and I skipped it? Come on, man. Dude, I'm so dumb. I tried to pause it. I don't know what he's driving now. I tried to, like, pause the game so we could run the ad. But I just ended up skipping the entrances. A dude named Tracy with the Law Boys, Girls, NBs, and AGs. Tracy, how you doing, man? Hopefully you had a good stream, whatever it was you streamed. What did you stream, in fact?
Hello, Mario.
Thank you for bringing your lovely community on over here. We're happy to have you here.
Good evening.
We're happy to have you and the Twisty Rockets from Kane.
Another exciting event here at the WWE.
Big Worm 91 is followed. Thank you very much, my friend. You're a member of the Long Boy Club for life. Oh my god, dude, he's so loud. Fink is loud. He's right there in my ear. God damn it, no! I don't want to friggin'
Entering in the wood-pedaled station wagon.
Get out of here with your wood panel station wagon, Matt! With the V1? Ah, mobile.
Entering in the muscle car, Chris Jericho.
Happy Tracy, I said your raid, you're cringe. Why, thank you. I try my best to be. Dude! There was Jeff Hardy and I missed it?
Entering in the steamroller.
Again?
Rikishi.
Dude, come on. Oh wait, no, that wasn't Jeff Hardy. That was fucking Matt again. That's not my raid message. Okay, well, Whatever. You do this. Yes, it is. You do this bit all the time. Hold on. Are you talking about Tracy? Because, like, I'm pretty sure you are. Yeah, you are. You only followed like a minute ago. It's fine. But yeah, I'm GirafaStev. I'm the president of the Lawn Boy Club. I'm the very long and large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, some good sleep here in a minute, and my stinky cats. Tonight, we were playing WWE Cross Shower. I don't know if I'm returning to it because honestly, a lot of the time this game kind of hurts my finger because I'm drifting all the time and the GameCube controller is not very good for that. Or at least like it's not really good. Yeah, sorry, but dang, Crush Hour is a throwback. It is. It is. I didn't like it back when I was 21 and I was in college. But now that I'm 26 and I have a mortgage and 2 fur babies, I could confidently say that it's still pretty mid. Hold on. Do we even unlock a character yet? Because we've been like doing this, we've been going hard on this for like 8 matches so far, and we've only like unlocked 1 arena, I think. Give me just a second here. Because I want to see what all we've unlocked. So we got SmackDown, Lumberjack, Iron Man, Bottom Line, Cage Match, Running the Gauntlet, which looks nothing like how it does in the actual level. Nah, why not? I'll put that there. Gauntlet. Free for all. At least you can customize the rules like that. Oh, you don't need to apologize for showing up late into the stream. It's okay. I know that Christian Cage is in this game. I want to see his car real fast. WWE Christian. Because I know that Christian's unlockable in this game. Oh, he's got like a Formula 1 type of car. Hogan's also in this game, chat. It's just that he's locked.
It's almost time for a 2.5-minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Fuck, I can't snooze this one. We'll just go ahead and run it real fast.
Matt!
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Final Doom from Williams is a game that chews you up and spits you out. Like any Doom game, Final Doom is invincible, indestructible, impossible, impenetrable. We're going to try to be clever for the rest of this review. Don't have a cow once you figure out what we're saying. Final Doom is just more of the same old Doom shoot-'em-up action that has spawned countless clones in the video game industry. The same Doom enemies that
I hope you had a fun time
Doom
over on your
games of
stream,
this Doom series are also in this
Tracy.
Doom game. Doom it.
I don't
We're
think you
sick of
said
all
it
these
yet, but
Doom
what were you
bloody
playing
games
over
with
there?
more Doom gunshots in 1 minute than we would otherwise hear in a lifetime. We're sick of all the Doom groans of the dead demons and the people you must shoot in the game. Doom it. These games make you Doom crazy, especially since they're so Doom hard. Normally, challenge is good, but not in this Doom game. Hardcore Doomers will be in Doom Nirvana. The game is actually 3 games in 1. Master levels from the internet, Plutonia, and TNT. All are extremely difficult. Hidden in the instruction booklet is a password that gives you all of the game's weapons. But even with that little gem, you will fail miserably. Don't worry, we're not going to Doom Williams, but let's just say it's time to put this series to rest. Of course, we may end up eating crow once Doom 64 comes out. And I mean Doom as in Doom in that instance. If you think that all these Dooms are bad, wait till you find out what BFG stands for. The BFG 9000 is the biggest gun in the game. If Williams sees this segment, they will either A, laugh at all the Dooms, B, put us on their
some
to-do
WWE
list,
2K25.
C,
I'm too
doom us to
stingy to
Hades,
buy the new
or
one.
D, not do one Doom thing.
I'm not going to say that, like... No, I'm not going to, like, stoop down to that. I just don't want to support WWE right now. You know? I feel like largely they've just not really been given... They've not been giving me what I want. You know? They've not been giving me what I want, and also they're just really on one right now. You know? They're really on one when it comes to pissing me off. So they're not gonna get anything
Om nom
from me
nom. Oh,
for a
excuse
while.
me, we're back, my dudes.
Is there, like, no cheat code for this game to just unlock everything? Because this would be the era where cheat codes would be a thing, right? No, in fact, no, I know that's right. I know this would be a game that has cheat codes, because this is literally when they were a thing. Animated count. Oh, animated taunts. Okay. Commentator volume.
Test. 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 Test.
Gaming in the clitorious years. The Victoria Justice of Victorious. I do enjoy how much character this game has, though. You know? Like, wrestling games just don't have this kind of personality to them anymore. Even if in some respects it's not always the best age. I at least enjoy it when things were not so sterilized, you know? Feels like there's more to sink your teeth into with this game. Also, 2K has annoyed me a lot lately, so it's kind of a marriage made in hell. Yeah. Because even, like, separating WWE from it, it's 2K. They're one of the worst out there. So, you know, it's gonna take a lot to bring me over to their side. But no, I do need to go to bed here, chat. I'm very sorry, but I'm gonna need to bid you adieu here. Let's go ahead and let's read out to someone. Who all is live right now? I know who we can raid into. We can raid into DD. DD50. Right now they're doing iRacing. 2026 NASCAR iRacing Series. Race 6 of 36. The Goodyear 400. They're very, very fun. They're very, very passionate about what they do. I think y'all will really love her. So yeah. Hold on just a second. They're one of the only people that can make me genuinely give a shit about NASCAR racing. or just like racing that's not like a kart racing or like Twisted Metal sort of scenario. I think you'll really love her. But yeah. Thank you all very much for the evening. Really appreciate you hanging out with me on this Thursday night. If you've not done so already, I would really appreciate a follow on the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers this year on Twitch. If we do, I have a special show planned just for that. 1K Mania, where I will be fielding viewers' requested matches, as well as, I guess you could call them dream matches from the Lawn Boy Club faithful. I'm over on Discord as well. We have a Discord server. We're going to be watching a lot more wrestling in there this year. Coming up, we're going to be screening both of Maple Leaf Pro's upcoming shows, which are hold on, let me see. I don't want to get their names wrong. One of them is called Uprising, but the other is called Global Wars Canada, between Ring of Honor and MLP. So yeah, come over, have some fun with us on that. Follow me on my shit right here. I'm on socials. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on YouTube. Twice over as both a VOD and highlights channels. I'm on TikTok as well. Come and find me on that shit. But yeah, I think, you know, even though that I just kind of said what I said, I don't think I'm done with this game quite yet, y'all. Maybe it's because I just don't like letting games go unfinished, but I want to see this through. So I think we'll be back with this as well. If not on Saturday, then, you know, definitely on, you know, next Thursday or Friday. So yeah. Thank you all a bunch once again. This has been very fun. I appreciated, you know, both of the raids. I appreciate the new follow. Jeez, we got 15 people here. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I will see you all on Saturday for either more of this or Backyard Baseball 2001. Have you seen Pablo lately? He looks like a goddamn Peanuts character, and he looks very, very, very cool and cute. So yeah, I will see y'all then. Have a good night, everyone, and get to the weekend. Please, meet me there.